Hello guys and gals, Buffalo here. Welcome back to the range. I've got a good video for you guys today. It's one that you guys have been on to me to get done. Several of you have emailed me about this video, encouraging me, to put it lightly, to hurry up and get this video done, but it's been tough. It's been very windy here, and I wanted to wait till we had a calm day before I done this, and today we've got a relatively calm day. It's about 75 degrees. And the wind is just a breeze. It's not real bad. So I think we're going to be okay to go ahead and move forward with this video today. If you guys were following along, I did a series and tested 10 different kinds of ammo in my CZ VARMINT MTR chambered in .22 long rifle. And I told you guys, once I finished that series, I would take the top 3 and shoot those off against each other on the same day under the same conditions, because it took me a few months to get all those videos done. I only get, typically one day or half a day a week to do videos on, and if it happens to be windy or something that day, then I can't be down here shooting groups on video. They just it doesn't work that way. So I wanted to wait to have a good calm day. So SK Standard Plus, this stuff here, won that series. SK Pistol Match Special came in second place. And SK again, FLATNOSE Match, came in third place. So this rifle really likes the SK stuff. I had no idea that was going to happen. That's just the way it played out. Tested a lot of different brands, but the SK really shined in this particular rifle. Doesn't mean it will in yours. 22s are finicky. They like what they like, but that's what mine liked. So I've got the targets here. This was the third place, SK FLATNOSE Match. So we got a lot of data from doing this series. Out of 25 shots, I ran the chronograph when I did these, so I saved the velocities for each group, so that way I would have that data. I didn't mention, I didn't crunch numbers on those videos, but the numbers were there if any of you guys wanted to do so yourself, and I wanted them there so that I could go back and reference them, and I did for these 3 ammos. 25 shots, we averaged 1,100 feet per second. Standard deviation of 8.3, which is very good. That's reflective of a match grade ammunition. A best group with the FLATNOSE Match measured 300,000ths of an inch. That's 5 shots at 50 yards. Pretty good group. Average overall was .448, I guess you would say. You'd round that up. I don't know why I wrote that 4 digits out. I can't even measure them that accurately. But .448 was the average group. Second place was the SK Pistol Match Plus, 25 shots. Average velocity was 1,120 feet per second. Standard deviation of 10.1. Our best group was 200,000ths of an inch. That's pretty great. That's spectacular, especially for me. I've told you guys time and time again, I'm not a competition shooter or anything. So for me, that's pretty dang good shooting. Average of 5 groups was 430,000ths of an inch. And the winner was SK Standard Plus. Average velocity, 1,093 feet per second. And I only got 23 shots of data because I had a couple of chronograph errors in that first group. So out of 23 shots on this one, 1,093 feet per second average velocity, 8.3 standard deviation. Same standard deviation as the FLATNOSE, which is a match ammo. So the Standard Plus is not really considered a match ammo. It's more of a practice ammo. So I'm just really surprised at how good that this stuff does out of that rifle. Today I'm going to be shooting these targets. These came from George over at the Target Suite channel. I'll have his channel linked in the description below. He sent these over to me. I really appreciate it. George got a great channel. I really enjoy his content. You can see these have a tiny little X for me to aim at. And that Citron S2 scope that I've got on this rifle, I'll be able to see that X really well. And it's a 36 power scope, so I'll be able to get right up in it there, and it'll give me a good holding point. And what I've done, I have, over the last couple of weeks, even though it's been real windy, I've been able to shoot a little bit. And I've adjusted my scope where I should be hitting just a shade low here, so I don't shoot my X out, my aiming point. So if you see me shooting low, that's on purpose. That's so I don't shoot my aim point out. We're trying to see what size groups I can shoot, how consistent that ammo is, not particularly trying to hit that X. So I'll show you guys what I've done here. I've made some changes. Of course, some of you guys are going to skip. You're going to strip straight to the shooting, but you're going to skip straight to the shooting or to the results, and that's fine too. But I'll show some of you guys, the guys that want to know what I've done here, what I've changed on my setup. I had so many comments telling me to do this or do that when I was doing that 10 video series, to the point where it was actually getting kind of aggravating, because I couldn't make changes during the series because it would invalidate all the tests that I had done up to that point. I had to stick with what I'd done. I hand loaded them one at a time. I used my cheaper rest setup. And I did all that because that was the way I did the first video. I couldn't change it midstream. So I'll show you guys what I've got now and how I'm going to be shooting today and what I've done here to help me get the most out of the accuracy on this rifle. Look at the tree pollen on this bench. That stuff drives me nuts. I did want to mention, out of those 10 ammos that I tested, the only problem I had with any of the ammo was the Ely Team. I had 2 misfires with the Ely Team ammo. Everything else did great, so for some reason it didn't want to set the primers off on that Ely Team stuff. Just thought I would mention that in case somebody else is having issues like that with the Ely Team. Don't know what the deal was, but that rifle has fired everything else flawlessly other than the Ely Team. Now I do get, on the last round, sometimes my brass won't throw the brass out. It won't eject it. It'll pull it out of the chamber, but it won't eject it. Don't know what that's about, but sometimes it'll do that. But that's really all I've got to report as far as malfunctions or anything like that. Alright, so now that I'm having this shoot off, and it's its own video in itself, I don't have to lock myself into the things that I was doing in the other video. So I'm using my better rest. This is the Rock BR. It's a better rest than what I was using in those other videos. This one is heavier. It's got a wider stance, finer adjustments. It's just a better rest. Now, it's not a $800 or $900 rest like some of you guys were suggesting that I buy. I don't shoot competitions, so I'm not interested in spending that kind of money on a rest setup. Got my protector leather bag back here. Of course, my elbow bag. Got that set up on a mat to keep from scarring my table up. Works out really well. You can see I've got the bolt out of the gun. I removed the sling swivel studs. Many of you guys asked me to do that. So this gun doesn't have the sling swivel studs on it right now. I also inletted the stock a little bit. I noticed that on this side my stock was touching the barrel. It wasn't doing that when I first bought the gun. It was coming close, but it wasn't touching. So I just removed a little material out of the stock. It's still, you can see there's a much wider gap over here than there is over here. But I removed a little more material to keep it from coming up against the barrel. I'll be shooting from the magazine today just because so many people over and over and over and over asked me to shoot from the magazine when I was doing that series. But again, I was locked in. I wasn't going to change anything. So today I'll be shooting from the 5-round magazine. I also made a change to the trigger. I put a Yodave trigger spring in. My trigger is now pulling at about 1.5 pounds, and I also put a trigger shoe on here. So that helps. My trigger is actually as wide as the trigger guard now. That wider trigger makes it feel lighter than it actually is. So not only did I actually lighten the trigger, I added the trigger shoe to make it feel lighter as well. But that's about it. That's the setup for today. So we might as well go ahead and get started. All right, so SK FLATNOSE match. Let's get this show started. So I'm going to speed this part up for you guys. Shooting groups can be fun, but watching someone else shoot groups can be a little bit like watching paint dry. So maybe this will help. Looking great so far, but I've got 5 more to go. That looks pretty dang good to me. So we've got a good showing from the SK FLATNOSE match. Set the bar pretty high. Let's move on to the SK pistol match special. Okay, so I pulled a dry patch through the bore, fired 5 practice rounds on a piece of steel back there. Now I'm ready for my 10 shots. On target. It's going to be tough to beat that FLATNOSE group. But let's give it a shot. Looking pretty good so far. For consistency's sake, I went ahead, pulled the dry patch through the bore, and put 5 practice rounds on a steel target back there on the backstop. So we are ready to go with the SK Standard Plus. That will be target C. Looking good. Where'd that go? Right here. I'm going to set that one to the side. I still had a piece of brass in the action there, and it jammed me up when I went to feed that one in, so just in case I damaged that bullet, I don't think I did, but I'm going to set it to the side. Whoo! Not gonna lie, I felt a lot of pressure on that last shot. That is 3 great groups in a row at 50 yards, 10-shot groups. I almost can't believe what I'm looking at. Let's go down, get a better look at it. We can stop that camera now. All right, so just looking at the target here, the Standard Plus just keeps coming through with that rifle. For some reason, that rifle really likes the Standard Plus. I don't know why. Maybe it could just be in my head, who knows? Maybe having a placebo effect on me. These two are going to be very close for second place. And I'm happy. These are 10-shot groups. They all look good to me. This one just happens. This might be the best 50-yard, 10-shot group that I've ever shot, period, in my life. I'll have to measure these two to see which one came in second place. So I'm going to take the target up, measure it, and see how it played out. Guys, that's unbelievable. 300 thousandths of an inch. That's 10 shots at 50 yards. That's the SK Standard Plus. So it won when I put it against the 9 other ammunitions in that 10 video series. The SK Standard Plus won. And then today, when I had the shoot off, it won again. Like I said, and my wife picked that ammo from the beginning. Credit to her for that. And I'll never hear the end of it, I'm sure. But she told me the SK Standard Plus is going to win it. That was her favorite ammo that we shot. She shot her best groups with it. And now I see why. But could be a little bit of a placebo effect going on. Just because I do like that ammo. But I like all the ammos. I tried to be as unbiased as I possibly could. Second place was the FLATNOSE match today. Third place was the pistol match plus. Now, in the 10 series of videos I done, those flip-flopped. The pistol match plus beat the FLATNOSE match. So those flip-flopped today. But it's mostly due to that one flyer right there. If it hadn't been for that flyer, the pistol match would have been competing with the Standard Plus. But I don't throw out flyers. They all hit the paper, so they all got to count. 300 thousandths of an inch. 10 shots. Those are 10-shot groups. I have to tell myself that over and over. They look like 5-shot groups. 10-shot groups. Very, very happy with this rifle. Back when I bought this rifle, they were going for, in store, for around $630, $630. Of course, prices, since I've bought that rifle, prices on everything have come up. I don't know what they're going for now, but for that price range, for what I paid for it, that's great. I'm very happy with that. I guess that's about all I've got today. That'll probably be the last time you see the CZ MTR varmint shooting groups on paper here on this channel. I don't want to say always or never because things change, but I don't plan on shooting any more paper with it. I am going to do some long range videos with it and get out a little farther and ring some steel and stuff with it like that. But as far as shooting groups, this will be the last one. So that's all I've got, and I'll talk with you guys again soon.